You want to know something else? I've never liked your spinach puffs. Never! That's it. She's going down.
Hello everyone, I'm Ian from over at the Swegle Boys and Girls Club, and today I'm going to invite you to follow along as I make spinach puffs from one of my favorite Disney movies, The Emperor's New Groove. Now, the very first thing that we need to do is make sure that the stovetop is on and at a medium temperature. Now it's time to melt some butter. While we wait for the butter to melt, I can talk about the next step. So our next step, we're going to be adding garlic. Apparently you can buy garlic butter at the store, but I chose to make my own. So if you're deciding that you want to make your own spinach puffs, you can choose to go either way. Our next step is to take an onion and cut it up into small little diced pieces. As you watch, you'll probably notice that I am definitely not a professional chef. So please don't be watching my video and expect to see some impressive cutting skills. Also, I end up throwing a portion of the onion on the floor, so I'm definitely not a professional. But I didn't cry, so not crying when cutting an onion, pretty good. And into our buttery garlic concoction, the onions will go. Now it's time for us to add the first of our 3 cheeses, Parmesan cheese. I bought some already pre-cut up Parmesan, mostly because I couldn't find any blocks of Parmesan at the store in the quick amount of time I was there. Next, we're going to add some ricotta cheese, which, when you open it, looks a lot like sour cream. And we're going to add a dollop of that into our cheese and butter and garlic mixture. Last and not least, we'll be adding some mozzarella cheese to our mixture. So I'm going to be grating up some of the mozzarella and adding it into our pan, casting it into the cheese mixture. Now for our next step, it's time to add some salt and pepper. As you watch, you'll notice that the salt was being stubborn with me, and it took me multiple efforts until it came out. However, the pepper worked like a charm. Also, now seems like an ideal time to admit a huge mistake. Kronk is making spinach puffs in the movie, and right now seems like the absolute perfect time to add spinach, right? Well, I forgot to buy spinach. So, Chief's Puffs are on the menu tonight. Now that we have our cheese mix all done, we are going to leave it here to cool and grab some of our puff pastry. I just bought some of the store-bought stuff, which you can find in the freezer section, and I'm going to be cutting this into little triangle shapes. Now I'm going to be taking our cooled cheese mix and putting a small bit of that in the middle of a pastry triangle. Then I'm going to fold the pastry over and crimp it with a fork so that the cheese cannot escape when I put it in the oven. Speaking of the oven, into the oven our pastries go. The oven is currently at about 350 degrees, and after 10 minutes, or until they're a little brown, I'm going to check on them. And out of the oven they go. I will be putting them onto a plate and take them over to my wife and eager friends for them to enjoy. As they disappear off of the plate, and everyone enjoys the flaky pastry and gooey cheese, I can't help but notice something is missing. Spinach maybe?